What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You're watching Everything Weapons. Well, boys, we got an awesome video lined up for you today. Also, I've just been kind of like experimenting using AI video in my content sometimes. Let me know what you think. I also use Photoshop to make it look even better. And don't worry, I'll still make the normal videos as well. Did you know the best shooter of the American Revolutionary War was a first-generation Irish American? Badass, extremely skilled marksman, and master tree climber. Today, join us as we explore one of the most important and coolest men of the history of the United States of America. Timothy Murphy quickly rose to the ranks, impressing anyone who saw his shoot. His rifle musket. Tim Murphy played a crucial role in planting severe fear and intimidation among British soldiers, who at the time the pioneers and colonists called the Americans were trying to free themselves from. Timothy Murphy stands as one of the most lethal and enigmatic figures of the American Revolution. A man whose prowess with a rifle blurred the line between soldiering and frontier legend. Born in Pennsylvania to Irish immigrants, Murphy possessed a specialized skill set honed by years on the brutal edges of the American wilderness, making him the archetype of the American marksman. His record is most famously defined by the Battle of Saratoga, specifically the Second Battle of Bemis Heights, on October 7, 1777. During this pivotal moment, under the direct orders of General Benedict Arnold and Colonel Daniel Morgan, Murphy climbed a tree to gain a vantage point on the British leadership, from a distance estimated at roughly 300 yards. A staggering feat for the technology of the era, he mortally wounded General Simon Fraser and subsequently took down Sir Francis Clerke. These shots are credited with shattering British morale and turning the tide of the battle, which ultimately led to the surrender of General Burgoyne and the entry of France into the war. The precise number of kills Murphy accumulated throughout the war remains a matter of historical debate rather than exact ledger. While popular legend often inflates his tally into the hundreds, documented military history confirms his involvement in numerous skirmishes and major engagements where his rifle was consistently active. It is more accurate to view his impact through the quality of his targets, rather than the quantity of the rank and file. His primary targets were officers and scouts, as the strategy of Morgan's riflemen was to decapitate the British command structure, leaving the regular troops leaderless and confused. Beyond Fraser and Clerke, Murphy was a constant terror to Loyalist raiders and their indigenous allies in the Schoharie Valley, where he spent much of the latter half of the war protecting frontier settlements. Murphy's resilience was as notable as his accuracy. Despite being involved in high-stakes guerrilla warfare, he managed to survive the conflict, though he did not emerge entirely unscathed. He suffered various minor injuries common to the grueling life of a frontier scout, including exposure and the physical toll of rapid retreats through dense wilderness, but he was never incapacitated by a major battlefield wound that ended his service. His career saw him through a remarkable number of engagements. He served at the Siege of Boston, fought at the Battle of Long Island, survived the harrowing winter at Valley Forge, and played a critical role in the Sullivan Expedition against the Iroquois Confederacy. Records suggest he was present or actively engaged in at least a dozen major actions and countless smaller frontier firefights. The fame of Timothy Murphy reached the highest levels of the Continental Command. While it is unlikely he had a personal, casual friendship with George Washington, his exploits were certainly known to the Commander-in-Chief. Washington relied heavily on Daniel Morgan's corps of marksmen, and the success at Saratoga, driven by Murphy's trigger finger, was the primary news that allowed Washington to maintain the Army's political support. Founding fathers like Thomas Jefferson were also well aware of the frontier rifleman as a concept, viewing men like Murphy as the personification of American ruggedness and a tactical advantage the British could not replicate. Murphy's primary tool was the American long rifle, often referred to as the Pennsylvania or Kentucky rifle. Unlike the standard British Brown Bess smoothbore musket, which was lucky to hit a man-sized target at 80 yards, Murphy's rifle featured internal grooving that stabilized the bullet. He famously utilized a double-barreled rifle, an extremely rare and expensive piece of technology for the time, which allowed him 2 consecutive shots before needing a lengthy reload. This gave him a significant advantage in the hit-and-run tactics he favored. His shooting positions were almost always improvised and based on the environment. He was a master of the prone position long before it was standardized, and he frequently utilized high-ground tactics, such as firing from the boughs of trees or from behind rocky outcroppings. His tactical approach was a hybrid of skirmishing and what we would today call sniper operations. While he functioned as part of a unit under Morgan, he often acted with a high degree of autonomy. He did not generally engage in assassination missions in the modern sense of infiltrating a city to kill a civilian leader, but he did perform solo or small group scouting missions where his specific task was to eliminate enemy pickets or officers behind the main line of engagement. He preferred to operate from the flanks or hidden positions rather than the traditional line of battle. Interestingly, the concept of a spotter as used in modern sniping, did not exist for Murphy. He relied on his own eyes and his deep understanding of windage and gravity, though he often operated alongside fellow scouts like David Ellison, who provided mutual defense while Murphy reloaded. After the war, Murphy became a local hero in New York State, where he eventually settled. He died in 1818 from cancer. Today, his remains lie in the Middleburg Cemetery in Schoharie County, New York. His grave is marked by a prominent monument that commemorates him not just as a soldier, but as the savior of Saratoga. His legacy persists as the quintessential example of how an individual with specialized skill and superior technology can alter the course of world history. Well, I guess that wraps up this one, dudes. Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy. Check out my other content on our channel. Do not forget to subscribe, ring the bell, so you don't miss out on future uploads. Drop a thumbs up and type us a comment down below. You've been watching the Everything Weapons YouTube channel. So yeah, see you guys in the next video. Have a good rest of your evening.